What is up, everybody? Good morning and welcome back to Marvel Rivals and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to make a quick guide about Black Widow. Pretty simple character, but there's a couple different things that you should probably know about her as you're playing her. So we're going to go through her basic abilities as usual. We're going to go through some tips and tricks, some other things that you can do with her, and then go from there. So to start out, this is a sniping character. A lot of the times you will see Black Widows just kind of sitting in the back of the map, just clicking on people, clicking on heads, that sort of thing. But there's a couple other things that you can do with her, especially if you get dove, that sort of thing. She's really kind of annoying as far as you have this like delay between each auto attack. And if you like hold down your left click, it'll only shoot once and it will never shoot again. So you do have to like click individually each time if you're hip firing, if you're scoped in, you know, anything like that. So she does actually have two weapons. So her left click is going to be her just a sniper. You can right click to zoom in, hold right click to zoom in, whatever. And if you scroll or you switch to your other weapon, you hit one or two, then you have these little like melee weapons. We'll just cover these real quick right now because I'm not going to go over them a whole lot. They're pretty mediocre. Very short attack range, pretty hard to do anything with. You're not really going to want to use these a whole lot. But yeah, we'll go through her sniper real quick because there's a little bit more that you kind of need to know about it. So you can scope in, do this, play this character as a really long range sniper. It's important to note that one headshot doesn't kill a squishy like Luna, something like that. So you will need a headshot and some extra change, like a body shot. That's kind of unfortunate just because Hawkeye can one-shot people with headies, and this you're getting them down to like it's the smallest sliver of health, but it is easy enough to like headshot someone and then just like body shot them afterwards. So but just keep that in mind. And then it's like 3 body shots to kill, so you can go for body shots because it is a good way to just get damage. But if you are just only going for headshots and you're just missing up here, you are so useless to your team, it's ridiculous. So if you can't hit headies consistently, just go for body shots, do some damage. If you get a heady accidentally, good for you. It'll make it a whole lot easier. So we will go over some other little breakpoints there in a second. But the other thing that is important to know is that there is no bloom on this character. If you're not familiar what bloom is, it's like when you're moving, your bullets don't go exactly where you want them, or if you hold down your left click or something like that, your bullets don't go where you want them. This character is completely hit scan, so your bullets will always go to that little dot in the center of my screen. As you can see, I'm standing here, boom, that was a heady, boom, that was a heady. It's right on that dot, so you can even like no scope people with your sniper and, you know, do something like that. It doesn't do quite as much damage. It doesn't seem like it does like half health if you're firing from the hip, as opposed to when you're heading someone when you're scoped in. But it's a good way to just like jump around, do some damage, get headies, do that sort of thing. It'll feel a little bit more like you're playing McCree or something like that from Overwatch, as opposed to just Widow, where you have to stay scoped in and go for headies the whole time. So that's important. And again, that cursor doesn't lie to you even when you're jumping, when you're moving. It will go exactly where you click. So good way to get some extra damage, especially if you need to move around, reposition. You can still be repositioning, go through this and go like that. So her next ability, her next basic ability is her left shift. So it's just a classic sprint. You can see I have like a sprint gauge on the right hand side of my screen, so you can't sprint forever, but that meter is very, very generous. You're typically not going to you know, sprint for that long anyway. And then if you press space, you will do an extra jump. Her regular jump looks like this, not very pretty, lackluster. But if you sprint and jump, you will go a little bit higher. So it's easier to get height with her in that way. Her next basic ability is her E. If you just use it, I don't have any cooldowns turned on in practice tool here. So if you just use your E, you can just use it. It's always going to be this little kick that first time. But when you hit an enemy, it actually does, there's like a little countdown in the center of my screen where it becomes a grapple. So you can do something like that. So if you're in the back line, you're having fun, you're like sniping targets, you're like, oh my god, I'm hitting headshots, hello. And someone dives you, this guy comes down in front of me, you can use your kick to get them away from you, get a little bit of distance, pull them back, knock them up, and get a little heady there. So that's a good way to kill squishies, especially if they get on top of you. If you're a real gamer, as we talked about earlier, when you scope in, your headshots do a lot more damage than when you fire from the hip. So, sorry, one more time with feeling. There we go. So, you know, a little bit more damage when you scope in. So if you are going to do that combo where you kick them back and then pull them back in, you can even like scope in, like I kick them back, pull, and usually fire from the hip because it's easier to hit for me that way. But if you wanted to do something like, you know, this, I'm probably not going to even hit it. You know, we do this, and then you scope in, you quick scope or something like that, you will do a little bit more damage. So that's kind of a min-max thing that you can do. But yeah, so you E, grapple them back in, get your heady. Good way to, counter assassinate a squishy target that tries to dive in on you, because you will get a lot of people that dive in on you, especially when they see you standing in the back, just hard scoping in, going for headies on their team. The last ability that we're going to go over is her ultimate. You just kind of enter this little like thing. You can cancel it, so you can right click to cancel, and you just hit Q, and then you hold this down, charge, does a little charge blast, does some okay damage, nothing too insane. Yeah, there's a little like indicator in the center of my screen, if you can see there. So there's the white crosshair in the center, and then there's the red crosshair on the outside. That is just the total amount that you can charge it. So as I hold down left click, it will reach that red. Once it's red, then that will be the maximum damage that we can get out of that ultimate. So a pretty simple ultimate, just kind of like extra damage, extra guaranteed damage. It's pretty hard to miss. If you're missing that, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't want to say don't play Black Widow if you're missing that, but maybe don't play Black Widow if you're missing that, because the area is crazy. So very simple ultimate, no like headshot modifier or anything on that. So even if you can see that it does about half their health. If I hit them, maybe it does a little bit more than half their health, but there's no reason to go for headies or anything like that with your ultimate. Just hit the biggest group of targets and get some guaranteed damage that way, especially because this character does not have any guaranteed damage. It's all skill based, all just clicking on heads. So that's Black Widow. Very simple character, but just keep in mind that your E combo is really cool. You can, you know, E things back, make sure that you're pulling them back right away, getting your combo in, hitting headshots, making sure that you realize that there is no bloom, so you can jump around, hit headies, all that sort of stuff. Of course, I missed there, and missed there too. Oh gosh. But yeah, so play around with this character, play around with scoping in, playing around, you know, mess around with playing her mid-range, that sort of thing, because you can get a lot of guaranteed headshot damage there too, and make people back up a little bit. But yeah, if you have any other questions about the character, is there something I've missed, anything like that, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comments. Have a good rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.